Good morning, good morning. It's Elizabeth here on our final day, day 5 of our challenge. I have absolutely adored this time with you all. You have blessed me so much, and I want to give you, each of you, such kudos for showing up the way you have. So many of you have really pushed through some of those fears and those blocks that have been keeping you small, and you just stepped out and did it. And what I also love on top of it is that not only did you go through your own personal transformation and pushing through those blocks, but you also greatly blessed others in the group. One, because by giving yourself permission to really step up, it gives them permission to step up. But then also the information you provided. It wasn't like you just came on and said, "Hey everyone, I'm doing my Facebook Live." It really was about giving us valuable content, valuable insights and tips. And so for that, you really blessed me. There were some messages this week that I needed to hear, and they really greatly impacted me. So thank you so much for that. And welcome to those of you who are coming on. Please make sure to tell me who you are as you're coming in, where you're calling in from. Again, I'm gonna own it. I just always say where you're calling in from. That'll be my thing. All right, so let me know where you're calling in from. Let me know if you're catching the replay. So put CTR in there and tell me your thoughts, your questions, and I will come back and answer those as well. But today is all about personal branding and how to stay on brand. This is actually my favorite topic because it can be so transformative. And really, it helps you to express externally what's happening on in the inside. And so it's really fun to develop this. So if you aren't already thinking of yourself as a brand, I want to invite you to start really owning that. Step into that, and you are the brand of your business. You are it, right? And the thing is that people, they buy your products, of course, but they first buy you. And it's so important for you to show up consistently, to be recognizable, to be seen with integrity and everything that you want to be seen as in your business, that you're showing up that way in a very visible way. And I don't just mean because there's the visibility aspect is really, I think has been overused, actually. But when I say, I guess I'm saying the more visible, in terms of visual, the visual aspect of you, what you look like, how you show up, how you present yourself, is greatly impactful. So it's important to really understand that for yourself, consciously and intentionally create that for yourself, and really then let it come out. All right? Because the clearer you are on your personal branding, the higher return on investment you're going to receive. I promise you. Because what's so cool now is that you no longer have to wait to be discovered. You can wait, I guess. But the thing is that you can self-produce, in a sense. We are the new celebrities as entrepreneurs, and you can create that in any way that you'd like. And I'm going to take one moment real quick. I just want to check and confirm that, and I don't normally take time to do something like this. I just want to make sure that all connections are going well. They are. Awesome. All right. So, but I am going to turn this off real quick so I'm not watching myself. But yeah, so you definitely want to really start thinking of yourself as the brand. And you remember earlier this week we talked about charisma, and how charisma is really how you make other people feel about themselves in the presence of you. And so the same thing goes, not just when you're presenting, but the same thing goes across the board for every element in your branding, all right? What's the experience that people are going to gain when they experience any aspect of your branding, okay? And, today's training is not going to be branding is extensive. I mean, it's an all-day training. So this is just a little snippet of, to give you an idea of what it is and to give you some tools and tips on how to develop that yourself. But where does personal branding come into play? Everywhere. Okay, things like, I mean, you need to consider everything that you're putting out there is your branding, your photos, your personal, and you need personal branding photos or professional branding photos made that really exemplify your essence. And I'm going to go through some questions today that will, excuse me, that will help you hone your essence in a sense, but you definitely get good photography done and get good videography done as well. Here I'm teaching you how to do it yourself, of course, and through Facebook Lives, and we haven't really gone that much into recording, which might be another challenge at another time, but really it's important to have at least one professionally recorded video. If nothing else, at least the professional photos. All right, it takes you from here to here. All right, in terms of your up leveling and how you show up. So I want you to also think about in those photos, they're going to represent who you are, but they're going to serve two purposes. They're going to help inspire you to really step into who you need to be in your business. One, in the process of creating them, but then after the fact, after you've taken the photos and you've put them everywhere in your website and in your social media marketing, that you're like, ooh, yes, that's where I want to keep. That's my touch point. That's where I want to keep going to show up. So it's an inspiration to you, but it's also, second point, is it's an inspiration to your potential clients, those who are seeing you, who are coming onto your website, who are seeing you in your social media, that it inspires them. It gives them permission to really step into their greatness as well. So it's really important that you give yourself permission to step into your own greatness. No more holding back, no more saying, oh, well, that's not for me and no, it is you. You need to step into it. You need to fully show up for yourself. Welcome to those of you who are coming on. Let me know who you are. But by doing so, you're then fulfilling your purpose, and it then allows others to fulfill theirs as well. All right. So really think about that. That's one of the processes I love helping my clients with is preparing. Hello, Canelli. One of the processes that I love to help people with is that preparation of getting ready for that photo shoot, where, really visualizing who you need to be, how you want to show up, and then literally on that day show up as that person. It's so amazing. It's so transformative. The same thing with a video. I am so excited. I'm creating a 3-month program, one-on-one coaching program, a VIP program, where at the end we're going to have a luxury video shoot and a photo shoot, and it's going to be amazing. So that's something I love doing. So definitely, wherever you are, start looking at those photographers that do that. I'm definitely here to help you as well in any way that I can. In terms of your branding, your website, same thing. I know that it's an investment, but it's so important to really invest in having someone else, unless that's your zone of genius, have someone else create your website and put in those beautiful photos, put in those beautiful videos. This is a story for me. I thought I need to do everything myself. I'm going to DIY everything. And it wasn't very pretty. It was inconsistent. It's not my zone of genius. I would take forever trying to write out my website and do all this stuff. And it was not good. And I recently went through a rebranding process, and it's just been amazing to see when you have somebody who's professional do it compared to what you did it, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I want to really invite you to step into getting the team, the help that you need, because it's time for you to really show up in your personal branding as a whole package. It's time to just really step into that and do it. Okay, so again, your website is kind of your calling card. It really exemplifies who you are. You have your copy in there. You've got your effective writing in there that shows who you are. That's where your branding shows up as well, as in that copy. It's not just the image of you. It's everything that comes out of your mouth and what you write about as well. And so also it shows up in your mailers and your newsletters. And of course, when people have interaction with you in person. You are your brand. You need to show up consistently as such. And it's not you acting like anything. It's just pulling that out and you exemplifying who you are. And then, of course, anything that's online, any contact that people have online with you, that they, either through video, the imagery, and all as well. So I'm going to list out some questions I want you to ask yourself when you're defining your brand. And again, you're going to get these later today in your handout. And so don't worry about writing these all down, because I am going to really, pop through them real quick. And but definitely something to take some time with the next day or so to really sit down, journal about these things, and really step into it. Okay? So, question 1. What do you want to be known for? What is, what is it what's your legacy that you want to leave? What do you stand for? What are your values? What are your principles? What are they? What expertise do people usually already come to you for? What is easy to you? And this will help clarify also maybe if you're still in confusion mode of what you do in your business. I know I stayed in self-inflicted confusion for a long time, which really did not bring didn't bring in any money into my business, and also created so much frustration for me. And the moment you get clear on that, is so freeing. And so if you know what people already come to you for your expertise, step into that, fully step into that. It's usually the things that we think are so easy to us are really not that important, because you think, well, that's easy. Doesn't everybody feel that way? And they don't. They need your services. And so it's super important to follow what people already come to you for, because then you already have a following. Your next part that you need to think about is, what is your creation story? What brought you to where you are right now? What is your hero story? What have you overcome? What steps did you take from that challenge that you had, or those challenges you have that now have brought you to where you are now, or we're all still in the process, right? So where are you in the process? And write that out for yourself. That is actually a perfect video for yourself as well. But it's important to understand in a clear way, what challenges have you overcome and what things did you do to do that, because that's exactly what your ideal clients are going to come to you for. Okay. Another thing to think about is, what inspires you? What outside of the business? Is it art? Is it music? Is it, having fun with your kids? Is it reading certain types of books? Is it history? Whatever it is, really, this is maybe not the best word to use, but really indulge in it. Really allow that to inform and have a conversation with all of those different interests, because they will definitely be they'll inspire you, they'll inspire others as well. So for example, I've got my puppy, y'all. Look at my baby. This is Snowball. She's a multi-poo. But she comes every time I'm doing a live. She loves to come and she wants to sit on my lap. So there you see a little bit of my personal life. But what inspires you? So just think about what those are. And I'm going to talk a little bit about mine here in a second as well. But what qualities do you want associated with yourself and with your business? Is it loyalty? Is it honesty? Is it integrity, that you're always going to show up on time, that you're always going to deliver when you say you're going to deliver? What are those elements? And just list them out. What does it mean for me to be authentic? Authentic, the word authentic, I think, is overused right now. And for a time, and I was talking to someone last night in our group about this. It was so cool. This is what the power of video and of the power of live. I went to an event last night, and all of a sudden I'm like, I know that person. Who is that? And I hadn't met her in person, but sorry, my dog is walking around and it's hitting my cable, which is moving my phone. How funny. But I was like, how do I know this person? And it's someone from our challenge, which is so fun. And so we never met in person, but we did meet in the group, and then got to see each other in person, which was fabulous. But we were talking about authenticity, and how in the past, and it still is there a little bit, about, well, I'm going to be authentic, and I'm going to show up and just be my grungy. I'm going to show who I am when I wake up in the morning, and talk about my coffee and all. And it's like that. Okay, that's great, but there is, hello to those of you who are coming on, welcome. And so there's still an element of having some classicness of who you are in there, those quirks, the beauty in you that makes you human. But at the same time, it's still important to stay on brand for who you are in your business. All right, you're not. I am all for, like, on a Saturday morning, showing up and in my sweats and my hair on top of my head, no makeup, and say, hey y'all, it is Saturday. This is how I'm going to show up today, and I am relaxed, but I wanted to make sure to come on today and give you some value. That's great. Okay, that's fine to do every once in a while, but you also need to think about, in terms of consistency, how would you want to show up with your clients? If you were to meet with them in person, is that how you want them to see you? Probably not. Unless that's your brand, right? And so just something to think about. All right, so in terms of being authentic, and the thing is, in today's society and in the social media realm, right now, having that authenticness to yourself, just this is who I am, this is what I think, these are my opinions, that is what will take you from here to here in your business as well. All right, what are the interests and passions that influence who you are? This kind of goes along with what inspires you. For me, it's dance, it's performing, all of those things. I'm not currently performing or dancing, though I keep saying I'm going to. I should. Shouldn't shit on myself. I am going to in the next month. I already know where I'm going to be training, so I'll just put that out. But that greatly informs me, though. That's something from my past that now, by bringing that in, has really helped me feel more like me and be embodied. Okay, so if there are some things that you are interested in, that are your passions, that maybe you haven't been accessing for a while, list those out. What are those things that maybe you could pull in that maybe you don't talk about? You don't hear me talking about performing all the time. But what are the elements that, when you're in those situations, can inform or inspire what you're doing in your business and in your branding? All right, how clear is my direction and message? Okay, we already kind of talked about that in terms of clarity. If people are confused about what you do, it's an automatic no. Okay, so for yourself too, as I said, I was in self-inflicted confusion, and I was talking to another friend of mine yesterday, and she's doing the same. I think we all kind of do that. We all kind of pretend that we don't know what we need to do, and for all different reasons. And so we all know what we need to do. It's just a matter of digging down deep, maybe getting some support around that, and getting clarity. So how clear are you in it? And what do I desire for my audience to walk away with? Do I want them to feel energized? Do I want them to feel relaxed and comfortable, calm, inspired, whatever it is, excited? What is it that you want your audience to walk away with every single time that they see you? And of course, there's so many elements around who you are, and it's tough to go, well, which ones do I pick? The thing is that you hone it so that you kind of get the essence of who you are, so people then really understand, this is what I'm going to experience when I'm in their presence, whether it's online imagery or in person. But then within it, then you have the freedom to express yourself. Okay, so it's important to hone it down, kind of get the essence, when you've got kind of a diluted perfume, and now you make it really, really, what's the opposite of diluted? You know what I'm talking about. Not condensed, but you know what I mean. Where it's really, really the purest form. That's where we're looking to get to, so that then this can come out and that element can come out, right? And what will push you to the next level is something to think about in your business or in your branding. Where do you want to be, and go for that? What mindset do you need to have that will help you really truly show up? There are a lot of blocks that we can have, and you need to really hone in. What kind of mindset do I have right now that's holding me back, that's keeping me small? And what kind do I need to create so that those blocks are no longer there? And that's something I love working with too, because I mean, this developing your own personal brand is a huge transformation, and it takes a lot of mindset work. It's not just somebody coming in and saying, you're going to wear this, you're going to wear your hair like that, these are the colors you like. No, it's really about from the inside out. Then talking about the clothing, what types of clothing do I love? What do you feel comfortable in? What really exemplifies who you like to be? You know, there's an element of myself is I'm a chameleon. I can really dress like I'm in the 20s, the 40s, the 60s, whatever, and I'll fit in. I like that vintage feel. And so I play with that sometimes. And so I'll draw inspiration from that, but then also put a modern twist on it. So what do you feel comfortable in? Is it that you love pencil skirts and high heels and, you know, cute little blouses with some pearls? Is it that you love jeans and your cowboy boots and a flannel shirt? Whatever it is, what do you love? And then really start honing that, going into that and staying consistent wearing that. What lights you up? What inspires you? That goes along with what inspires you. What excites you? And these are things that you'll then bring into your branding and into your messaging. Another thing that I like to ask people, what are your celebrity style crushes that you would like to emulate? Okay, so maybe go look in magazines, online, and see it. And I will often tell my clients to create a Pinterest board, and then I have access to it, so that then I understand more of what they're thinking, what they're seeing. 'Cause I'm such a visual person. Okay, that's what we're working with. Okay, and also helps you hone that messaging as well. So pull those celebrity styles in as well that you like. And the reason why I say that is just because they're so visible that they're easy to access. Okay, or you can think of designers. Are there certain designers that you absolutely love, that one, you just love the look of it, or the feel of it, their own branding that you would like to emulate? That's huge. Then also, if you found a brand or a designer that works really well with your body shape. There are certain brands that I have found, or designers that I have found, that I'm like, oh my gosh, they've made these clothes for me. Just the way the curves and all that just totally works. Others, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even get this over my knee, even though it's my size, So, and it's just not my style. So something to think about too. And I recently did this with a beautiful friend of mine. We went to an upper end mall or shopping center here in Dallas, where it has Versace and Valentino and, Tiffany's, all of these, and Gucci and Ferragamo, all of these different beautiful brands that in the past, it's not something that you go to unless you were born into that or you have a lot of money and that's just where you go. But it was so transformative to go into these stores and say, you know what, I want to try those shoes on. I want to try that dress on. And you start sensing, oh my gosh, these clothes feel so good. That it's not just because they're designer or whatever. There really is a difference to the energy of what they are, the feeling, the textures, the aura that they really have. There's something different in terms of the quality, and you really feel it. And so when you really step into that, when you put those clothes on, you go, wow, this is me. I love this. Hello to those of you who are coming on. You up-level yourself. You see the possibilities. And so I invite you to go and push yourself, push those boundaries, that comfort zone. And, if you love something, go try it on and try it, and you'll see. And so then you start honing, okay, what designers, what brands do I like? And even if you don't buy that $4,000 dress, now you know what you like, and now you can maybe find something else that's $40 that's similar, right? At least in style, right? So, but you've experienced different levels, and maybe something that you might aspire to, but then also what can inform you and inspire you now for the budget that you're in, all right? But it really opens your mind. So just a little fun thing that we did that really was so transformational, and something that I'm going to actually start integrating into my coaching packages, and taking a day to go do that with my clients. So let me see what my next question is that I want to share with you. Who do you need to know, or who do you need to be? Hello, Susanna, thank you so much for your message yesterday. I loved your video. I love everybody's videos, but because you just came on and I just watched it. Thank you so much. It was beautiful, and I will respond to that and talk to you about that. So again, who do I need to be to have the success I desire? Okay, and that goes along back to the photo shoot that I was talking about. Who is that person that you need to be and what things do you need to do to find that success that you want? And something that I love taking my clients through is thinking about visualize who you are. Maybe you draw it out, or you describe the person, or you just visualize it. Who are you in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? Okay, whatever works best for you. You might think that a year from now might not be as big of a transformation as that you think of yourself going towards. So maybe it's 5 years from now. Sit down and have a talk with that person. Meditate and have a talk with yourself, in a sense. Ask them, what are you wearing? What do you do? Who do you hang out with now? What do you like doing? What challenges did you have? What advice do you have for me that will catapult me to where you are right now? And that's very, very powerful. So who do you need to be? Where is your wealth consciousness in all of this? Where is it showing up in terms of your branding, your pricing, how you show up? Do you feel like you're not worth that much in terms of, oh, you're welcome, Susanna, maybe you don't think you're worth it to have people buy from you, so that you then, or you don't think it's going to give them much value, so then you don't charge as much as you think you should. You don't invest just that little extra amount to hire that next little, that little bit better photographer, rather than your brother who just has a camera that he has in his garage. Where is it that you're not showing up for yourself because you don't think you can afford it? Whereas you're not even looking to see how much it is. And you go, oh, I can't afford that. So really think about, where am I in my wealth consciousness of how I'm showing up? And I'm not talking that you have to go and spend a huge amount of money. I'm just saying, where are you in terms of how you're showing up, what you're putting out there, and how much you feel you deserve to get in exchange for the value that you're giving others. All right, that's just something to think about, because it will totally show up in your branding. What does my ideal client gravitate towards? It's really important in terms of visual. It's important to be authentic to yourself and to say, this is me, but at the same time, your ideal client, one, they'll automatically be attracted to you because you're being you, but at the same time, think about, where do they hang out? What do they read? What inspires them? What kind of pains do they have? What do they need to overcome that you've overcome? And really be aware of that as you're putting that out there. So be a full expression of who you are, with the awareness of having a communication, having an interaction and engagement with your ideal client. Again, speak to your future self. And just in general, what are your favorite colors, your activities, your passions, all of that, and put them down. Like when I was working with my branding designer and my website designer, she had me put together some things that inspired me visually. And then she created a blend board of different things that represented what I liked. And so she gave me two examples. One was, both had the same feel, but one was more safe. One was, and I loved it because she pushed me. And I'm like, okay, those are the type of people you want to have around you. And then one that was a little bit more edgy. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing this full out. I'm going to do the more edgy. And so it's still very soft, very feminine, but there's an edge to it and a little bit more modernity, or something, a modern element to it that I may not have gone to before. And so really start bringing that. Create your own blend boards. There are cool tools that you can use. I can't remember what it's called. It's the Alchemist, something like that, where she will help you do that, which is awesome. And if I think of it, I will put that in the comments because the visual is so beautiful with that. And then from there, with all of that, then I want you to finish with asking yourself, what's the essence of who I am? What do I want? How do I want to be known for? What's my legacy? And all those questions that you do, then hone it down and go, okay, what's really me? So maybe take 5 words, pull from that 5 words that really exemplify who you are. And then from there, start expanding. And this means staying, goes into my next line of how do you stay consistently on brand? and creating those structures for yourself so that you're not like, oh, I got to get ready and I don't really feel like it, but I have to be on brand when I get on Facebook Live. Elizabeth told me I need to, or whatever, whatever those things are. But if you put in the structures that will support you to stay on brand, then it's a lot easier just to show up that way. Okay. Even when you are, rushing around, excuse me, and really don't feel like getting on, but you're inspired to get on. So a couple of things to do is, one, go through your closet. And after you've really honed in what is it that you stand for, how do you want to show up, what's the look that you want, go into your closet, get rid of anything that does not go in line with your brand. Okay, things that don't inspire you, things that don't fit you anymore, things that that you've just don't go along with it, that you might be your easy go-to, but really don't put you in that. Don't challenge you, in a sense, to really step up. So, for example, before, because I'm also a Pilates and yoga instructor, I lived in sweats and I really didn't touch my normal clothes. I had to really push myself to say, okay, only when I teach do I put those clothes on, and then otherwise I'm fully dressed, I'm fully put together, just because there's a vibration, there's a level of vibration that goes with how you put yourself together. And the types of clothes that you're wearing. And so that was a lower frequency when I was in sweats, because it also made me feel like I was in that frequency, and that's how I then showed up. Whereas I know that if those sweats aren't available, there's nothing, I'm going to have to put on this other piece of clothing. Even if it's a comfy day, it's a casual day, it might mean that I put on some cute jeans and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me put on some earrings and my high heels when I go out, whatever it is. But the things that are in there are what are available to me. If I have my cushy clothes that I just naturally will go to, then I will go there. And then I'm not, in those very simple ways, not challenging myself. And so go to your closet, clear out everything that doesn't work for you, that is low vibe, that, hold it in your hand. There's a book, and maybe some of you can remind me, there's a book, I think it's The Art of Tidying Up. And you hold the item and you go, do I love this? Does this inspire me? And if it doesn't, it's out. Okay. So that everything in your environment is then something that you love. So then the next step would be, along with going through all this process. So this takes a lot of time. This is what I help people with, is also then create a space. You can do this throughout your whole home, or in a small little space where you do your work or do your videos. Create a space that is totally on brand for you. The colors, the accessories, things that exemplify you. Like right now, you see a camera behind me, you see a microphone behind me. I'm in a different setting today. Usually when I sit, I'm further forward and I sat back. So when you watch this, you'll go, oh yeah, that's the back of what she normally sits in. So be in a space that just is high vibe, and then also totally exemplifies you. So there's no way there's no wiggle room. It's just easy to just step right into your brand. Okay. And then, it's important to create that game plan for yourself and get that support. Welcome to those of you who are coming on. I'm so excited to see you. And then another thing to do is, a lot of times we're like, I don't know when to do my Facebook Lives. Sometimes I feel really inspired to share something, but dang it, I'm not on brand. I don't have my hair done. I don't have my makeup done. What I say then is write it down, because you're inspired to give something. Write it down. Well, let me step back. Schedule your Facebook Lives out. Say you're going to show up and show up. Okay. So for example, this whole week where I said I'm going to come at 8 o'clock in the morning, which I was like, after day 2, I was like, what was I thinking? 8 o'clock, being fully on and ready to go. But it really inspired me. I jumped out of my bed. I was ready. I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm so excited to get on here. But had I not scheduled those, hello, welcome, thank you. I think that's Vicky, I think. But if I didn't schedule them, I'd be like, oh yeah, sometime today I'm going to show up in my group. Hey, Vicky. Sometime I'm going to show up in my group, and when I feel like it. and I'll give them the information. And then of course there's the whole day like, well, how am I going to do it? There's all this anxiety that comes, and am I going to do it? Am I going to, when I finally am able to, in terms of timing, will I feel like it? Like all of that. And so, yeah, and Vicki says she had to put on her makeup early today too. She just did an interview, I believe, which I'm so excited to watch here in a little bit. And so, but it inspires you, it gets you going, it gets you moving, right? And it gives you those boundaries, those parameters to really show up. And so then you just show up. Otherwise, and then those times when you are inspired but you're not fully put together, then give yourself a break and don't go live, right? Unless you feel really inspired, go do it. But that consistency of showing up when you say you're going to be there, and it's consistent, either it's every day or every other day, once a week, whatever it is, then you save that information, that inspiration, and share it on those times when you are scheduled. And that way you then go, okay, it's work time. I have an appointment with myself, with my audience, like you have an appointment with your client or with your dentist or your whomever. You're going to show up, right? And so, but these times when we're like, well, sometime I'm going to show up, then it gets all wishy-washy. We start talking ourselves into doing other things, into making excuses why not just show up, and then you're like, there's all this negotiating happening, and get rid of the negotiating. Don't do it. So just schedule those out. Now, when you are inspired to go live on a whim and you're not made up, there's some simple things you can do. I mean, just think of, again, because you've already set up the structures that your clothing, your environment are already on brand. Maybe the rest of the house is a wreck because it's summertime and your kids are home all day with you. At least you have a little space in your home. You have clothing in your closet that at least is somehow on brand. Throw those on, get into that space, throw your hair back, braid it, whatever. Throw on some moisturizer or tinted moisturizer. There's BB cream that, you just go, okay, I'm going to throw it on real quick. A little bit of mascara and a little bit of lip gloss or lipstick, and you're awesome, okay? You don't have to be fully glammed out or anything, but if you want that little edge of one, that you're visually being seen as more professional and put together, but also, dang it, if I don't put mascara on, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, why is she so tired? Why am I looking so tired, Whereas when I put that on, I'm like, when I'm not even tired, right? If I put that mascara on, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go. It's those little things that really can make a difference. So if you are inspired and you're not put together, just quickly, just make the decision to do it, pull your hair back or do something to it, and throw on those little bits of makeup, and you could be in your pajamas on the bottom and put a shirt on. So have maybe 3 shirts to the side that you can always throw on, and do it, okay? And Susanna just... yes, Susanna said, yes, scheduling will be very helpful. It's so key with everything you're doing. And what's nice about it, when you schedule things out, you can completely relax. Because when I don't schedule things out, I feel like I'm constantly need to be doing something. And I'm like, I can't just rely on, oh, well, I know I'm going live on Thursday at noon. I don't have to feel like constantly every day, well, what should I be doing? Same thing with posting on social media. You get on the schedule, and so you can realize that that's when that information is going to go out, and it goes out around that, then you can relax. And so it really can help. All right. Again, create a small space in your home that shows from the camera, shows you on brand. You all have I do try to keep my house on brand for myself, because it keeps me in high vibe, and our whole family loves it. But I could pan around and maybe it's a huge mess over there. But it doesn't matter. It's what you're bringing forward. And the thing is, too, in terms of branding, really see, and it takes a process, it takes time. And again, this is what I love helping my clients with, is really start being curious. Where can my branding show up? Where can I feel inspired here? Where can I be in high vibe here? Who do I need to be around that will help inspire me to really step up and be that way? What environments do I need to go to feel that are on brand? For example, And when I was in New York and did my photo shoot, I had no idea where we were going. My photographer had, and that's what I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because I could just sit back and be taken around, and I could just show up as I needed to on camera. And this is what I'm going to be doing with my program, with video shoots and photo shoots as well at the end of my coaching programs, to just really allow you to have that luxurious experience. So I was just like, okay. She had already done the location scouting, and we show up into this, like, kind of this little foyer, and there's this beautiful baccarat crystal chandelier, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. It's, it's baccarat. She goes, well, that's where we are. And I was like, what? And yes, it's beautiful, beautiful crystal. And she said that we're in the hotel. So we went up, and I walked in, and I was like, and when I explain this or describe it, I get chills again. I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so on brand. This is so me. I could feel the vibration in there, and it inspired me, which then I was able to inspire my presence then. And this is something you need to think about too, is how does your presence inspire the surroundings? And so it's so important to get yourself in those types of environments, so that you then, and Vicki, I was telling them about our experience at North Park, that when you go into those settings, they really help expand you to be in that vibration, and because you don't know what you don't know. So when you get into those situations where it's really high vibe and the energy is just electric, you go, wow, this is where I can exist all the time. And that's what you can think about in your branding, to where you want to stay and where you want to take others as well. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you today. Again, it's thank you, Vicki. It has been such a pleasure this week working with you all. I've seen such growth in just such a short amount of time, even from one video to the next. It's just been fabulous. So thank you for showing up for yourself, showing up for this group. I've loved the support that you all are giving each other. I have loved putting this information together for you. It's really not in a negative way, but challenged me to step up to what I need. Thank you for the hearts, y'all. It's really challenged me in a great way to step up as well, and to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I so appreciate you showing up and the way you have. And let's continue. Y'all can, thank you. You're welcome, Vicki. And let's continue doing the video. If when you're inspired to do a Facebook Live, get in the group and do it. All right. And please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm here to help you. I would love to set up time to talk with each one of you to see how I can support you. I have various programs. One in particular that I love, it's a 6-week program that helps you do the recording of the videos that you need in your business specifically for your branding. And so it's a short, 6-week program that we walk through every single little bit, and by the end you're going to have 3 videos that are made, and so it's really great. So definitely let's talk if that's something that you're interested in. I also have a 3-month program that I've mentioned a number of times today that I am just so excited to step into and really help others. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Vicki. She said the program sounds amazing. Thank you for that. But I am just so excited to step into that and really help people that are ready to step up. Like if you're ready to, you want to create that website, you want to have that website designed, you want to have your photos done, you need to come to me first before you put all of that out. Don't waste your time trying to figure it out on your own. I'm here to help you with that. So definitely reach out and let's just get to work. All right. Y'all, seriously, I love each and every one of you. You've been such a pleasure, and I'm excited for our next challenge. I'm going to put in a poll, and we'll see what we do next. We may even just jump in and do it next week. We'll see. So I love each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.